What's going on? What's up, Justin? What's up, James? Good one tonight. This should be interesting for sure. There's one thing I wanted to do before I get started. I forgot to draw a name um, from the captain's meeting last week for the prize for the Bending Branches paddle from Get Outdoors. So I'm going to do that now and get that out of the way, and then we'll get into what's going on tonight. Let's see. Ooh. All right, let's see who gets it. Click the right thing. Here we go. Mike Bertrand, you're the winner of the Get Outdoors Captain's Meeting prize. So you got to go down to Get Outdoors, pick up that paddle. You got a choice between the green or the orange. I believe in two sizes too, 240 or 250. So congratulations, and go pick that up as soon as you can. All right. So boom, that's done. I know you guys have seen some posts. We're gonna get going on that the next event. We're gonna be promoting that pretty big. So share that out to all your friends. Um, get as many people as we can to it. I was going over the payout scale. It's kind of interesting when you have that much of a buy-in. So basically, set up. You get 150, it would be $5,000. So that would be insane, but it was kind of interesting to go that far. Um, the payouts are really good. I think I posted those before. I'll repost it again. I do have the whole payout sheet, which I may post the whole thing so everyone can see what every place pays and how it's not taking out any money for anything. So it's 100% payout for this event coming up as well. So look forward to that. So with that said, Gaston was a great event. We had a good time. A lot of people showed up to the awards thing, which I appreciate that. We had, I think, a total of 44 anglers, 45. I forget what it was. I think it was 44. And the fishing was phenomenal. So it was a good time. And not too surprisingly, the winner was Mr. Bryan Tsoilkas, who's with us tonight. And I'm going to bring him on in here. What's up, man?
How's it going?
Pretty good. It's going with you.
Oh, not much. Just hanging out.
Nice. So we've been trying to catch up for a while.
Yeah.
Playing tag, both of our lives keep going different directions, so we haven't been able to get things to work. But so we finally got you on here, which is cool. So one thing I wanted to talk about before we get into the last event was we never got to talk about Angle of the Year. So,
Yeah.
so figured we'll start with that. If you, actually, it was the start of people who don't know you, who don't know about your past. Why don't we let them know who you are, how long you've been fishing, how long you've been kayak fishing, and so on.
Yeah. So I've been kayak fishing for about, I'd say, 11 years. Well, I've been kayak fishing for about 14 years, but competitively, I started in 2014. Started first tournament actually was with the CKA, and I won it at Randleman, which was pretty exciting to win your very first fishing tournament. And then I just kind of got addicted to it. I started fishing with my uncle. My uncle got into some boat tournaments and started doing all that, and it just kind of evolved from there. There's nothing better than it, man. I love being on the kayak. I love being on the boat tournaments as well. But yeah, I started back in 2014 and have been doing it ever since.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was funny. The first time I met you, because I didn't start fishing until 2017 with CKA. So I never met you until we were both on Graham that day, and you happened to catch a big fish, and I needed a photo and whatever. So next thing I know, you're showing up to all the CKA events taking money. So
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I took a little bit of a break, but I kind of got burnt out back in about 2015, 2016. I actually got into a motorcycle accident and broke both of my ankles. So that kind of put me out of standing up in a kayak for a good while, or just standing on the boat as well. But had a little wild side for a little while. Thought I could get back into some motocross, and that didn't quite work out. So I decided to come back and do some fishing, and just the obsession was still there. So I just went from there.
Nice. So going into last year, what was your plan for the year? Did you have a goal for 2022?
Yeah, I definitely wanted. Well, back in 2015, I was like runner up for Angler of the Year, and it kind of ate me up. I thought I could win it on the last at the Gate City, like 2015, and but yeah, going into the year, that was my number one goal. I just wanted to be, get that Angler of the Year title, and if I had any wins, that would just be a plus. But ended up getting, I think it was 2 wins with CKA and 1 with CCKF, but that was just a plus. So that was my main goal, was just to get Angler of the Year.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I was looking at that. Last year you had 2 wins, a second, a third, and a sixth. Is that how it worked? I think you had 6 places at Gate City Classic.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So the first win was Sharon Harris, which was supposed to be a river event, but we had to swap it up a little bit. So that worked out pretty well for you.
Oh yeah. I'll look forward to that Cape Fear event, but that's where it was, correct? Cape Fear.
Yeah. Cape Fear and Yadkin River.
And I really don't like Sharon Harris that much. Ever since they killed the grass, but it ended up working out. It was a surprise to me too. I just kind of hung out in one spot and it ended up working. But yeah.
That's Harris for you. Yeah. It'll either work or it'll burn you, one or the other. And your other win was at your home lake.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of history out there. I actually grew up about 10 minutes. Well, I didn't grow up 10 minutes up the road, but my mom lives 10 minutes down the road. And that was actually the first lake. Tomilex was the first lake that I actually started kayak fishing. I ended up, my first kayak was a Pelican. I think just like a cheap $500-600 Pelican kayak. And I just fell in love with it. Just the solitude, being alone out on the water. And that's where I kind of got into kayak fishing, was on Tomilex, and just kind of figured out where all the little, brush piles, and really there's a lot of isolated cover too that you really don't know that's off of the bank. Sorry, my dogs are
Right.
wild, but yeah, that's where I really started kayak fishing, and I was going to go to that lake. I can't remember the lake's name. I'm not sure. I wasn't going to go to Tomilex, so I gave it like a 2-week break, and ended up, tournament day, I ended up pulling up on all my spots, and they were just home. It was just kind of magical in a way.
Yeah, it was impressive. You put up, what, 96 inches or something? I forget what it was exactly.
I think it was 102. I think it was the first time I ever broke 100 inches.
Was it?
Yeah. At one, I think I caught one last kicker in the last like 20 minutes, running back to the boat ramp, and it was like 22 or I think 22 inches or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, that was a good day, man.
For sure. So you'll pull it up. We'll get the exact number up. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. 102 inches. Yeah. Yeah. People with high 80s and low 90s that probably figure they're having a good day, and then you throw 102 up and ruin it. But that's an impressive number. Even first week of July, usually things are slowing down, and the big fish are kind of a little far and few between. So it's a heck of a day for sure.
Yeah, I found a little deal in some brush. Typically, that lake normally stays muddy, but it was actually kind of cleared. I think it was last year. but yeah, I've got a lot of cover that I know of that's off the bank, and they were home, so it worked out. And luckily, normally, like when I'm not fishing in a tournament, I'll go out there and just play around on the boat. That's just like my day off weekend or whatnot. I'll just go out there and play around. But I hadn't touched it in like 2 weeks because I knew if I wasn't going to go there because it had been fishing tough. But evidently, nobody caught those fish during that time. So
Yeah, it worked out. Giving them a little break while you
no,
did them well. Sure. Then next big deal was that we're at Norman this
yeah.
year. Started this year off with a bag.
Yeah, I typically in the wintertime, right after CKA ends, I like to get out to either Blues or Norman. I typically fish the winter trail. So, and if anybody's ever fished Blues, it's just full of spots. And obviously, but Norman's got some bigger ones, I think. But yeah, I pretty much stay in tune with spots throughout the winter. So, when I coming into the event, I had a pretty good, chance of catching a pretty decent bag, just knowing, just staying in tune with fish, man. I mean, throughout, you go in a largemouth lake, mainly largemouth lake in the winter, and it's tough, but Norman just stays on over the winter, and especially early spring is when it really starts to fire. So there's a little bit of strategy as far as where I went, but yeah, they bit good as soon as we started. I mean, they were there, so I started catching them pretty good. But yeah, I didn't expect it to be in the 90s. I figured mid 80s is a typical good day out on Norman, but yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, I think that's what the next few places had were in the low 80s or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And that was a good event.
yeah. It was fun.
And then Sharon Harris kind of bit you this year. Didn't
Yeah,
treat you like he did last year.
yeah. Last year, I think it was a couple weeks before my win at Sharon Harris, there was a tournament with the CCKF, and I didn't even catch a fish. I think it was about 2:30, and I think I caught one fish all day, and I put in at the bottom of the lake, which you would think I thought I could get on an offshore deal because I think it was pretty much midsummer as well as a couple weeks before, but it didn't work out. And then I was like, all right, well, I got a tournament out there with CKA, in 2 weeks, so I'll put in up at the upper spot. And I think that morning it was pretty nasty. I think it was raining. And the day before I actually practiced and I only caught one fish. So I wasn't feeling too good about it, but I ended up running around, getting the feel for what was going on, and eventually made my way to an area and just sat there. I caught one, and I was thinking to myself, okay, if I catch one, I'm just gonna hang out here and catch another one. So, but it was it can do that to you. You can go out there and catch a good bag one day, and then the next time you're out there, it's just garbage. So I mean,
Yeah,
that's any lake though.
no, for sure. And the bite definitely changed because I had practiced and had some bites pretty quick and in a pretty few spots, and so I said, okay, that's where I'll go, and never got a bite there the next day. So, so it's brutal. Gaston, did you have time to practice for that?
No, that was the first time I've been on Gaston. I've heard some that had a lot of spots in it, and it was a grass lake, which I've never fished a lake that has grass and spots together. Which I was excited about that because I figured maybe some of the bigger spots will be around where the bigger largemouth hang out. But I did not catch one. I did not catch one spot all day. I put in up in a creek right around mid lake, and once we got started, I think I caught one pretty quick on a jig, and then kind of tried to ride that bite out. I think I caught another one, and then it got real slow. and I was actually heading towards Main Lake. I was probably halfway down the creek, and I'd only had 2 fish. It was probably about 10:30 or 11 o'clock, and I saw those clouds starting to come, and I was thinking to myself, well, I don't want to get too far down and then have to come back in that rain. So I stopped there and I started fishing around docks, and I got my first good bite. It was about 18 inches. And then I thought to myself, all right, let's just slow down. And then when the weather comes, they should turn on. And sure enough, I round the bend and got into an area where I actually saw a guy when I was coming. He caught one earlier that morning. And I thought to myself, well, I have a feeling with the wind that's going to be blowing on that, it's going to fire pretty good once the storms come in. And round the bend, I saw an old boat ramp. It was actually an old boat ramp, but it looked like an old public boat ramp. Pitched to the side of that, to the side of the boat ramp that's actually in the water, and that's where I got my other good bite. And then from then on, I mean, it was just back to back. I think I caught like 10 fish. Biggest 21-inch, and I think that was a male. It was a pretty good sized fish. But yeah, once that storm hit, I mean, they were chewing. So it worked out. I got kind of lucky, but sometimes that's just how it is. It just works out. You just kind of have to slow down and bear down and hope for the best.
Yeah. I end up speeding up when I get all, flustered like I was by that time. The storm came, I was all hung up under a dock, frustrated, and I actually didn't even it was a covered dock, so it started pouring out, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to sit here and retie for a minute. So I got my mind a little bit better and went out there and actually caught some, but
that was a pretty interesting storm. I think I had to take cover too. I mean, typically I'll fish in the rain, but that was a little much for me. I hit under a dock too.
Yeah, it came down hard for a few minutes, and then I liked that the wind died though. I was more tired of dealing with the wind.
Yeah,
it was kind of nice.
Good
deal. So what's been the bait of choice for you for? I kind of know the answer already, but maybe might help somebody else out.
Well, I mean, I did a little podcast with Christopher Decker, and I love throwing a jig. I mean, that's just my main deal. If I can get that rolling off the start, I know I'm gonna have. I have a good feeling that I'm gonna have a good day. But I also like to power fish a jig as well. So I like to cover water fast. Typically big bites and bigger fish. I get when I'm fishing a jig is as soon as that bait hits the water. If you're flipping up shallow, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that hit, and it's a pretty good fish. But the main thing for me would be. It's just so situational, man. Like I love throwing a crankbait. I love throwing a chatterbait. But my main go-to, if I can get a jig rolling for the day, and they're biting it good, I can pretty much put a pretty good bag together, depending on the lake. But yeah, I mean, that's what I like to do. But I also like to throw a crankbait too. If the wind's blowing, I'll throw a crankbait. But that's another thing. Like at the Gaston event, I didn't get one bite in that wind on a moving bank. That's what made no sense to me. Normally, when the water's churning from the wind, I mean, it'll generate a good crankbait bite or a spinnerbait bite or whatever. But I couldn't get that going, so you kind of have to adjust. But my main go-to is a jig.
I hear you. Yeah. I had chatterbait bite on Gaston going all like after that weather came in, or actually before the weather came in, once the wind really picked up.
Nice.
Just find a flat and boom, I'd start smacking them, but they couldn't get any good size ones. So,
yeah.
So I had to abandon that. As much fun as I was having with it, I had to let that go and go start skipping docks and try to find a big one.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I love to throw a jig.
Nice. So what was the goal coming into this year? And it's the same deal. Just want to see if you can dominate, or
yeah, I mean, same deal. I'm not too worried about angle of the year. I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's no big deal. That's crossed off my list. But I honestly got a baby boy on the way, so I'm kind of just enjoying it while I can because I know I'm going to be busy. And then he's due July 13th. So I kind of laid off the CCKF events just because I know I'm going to miss a couple of them, and I can't. I know I'm not going to be able to devote time to running that far east to some of the events that they're doing. I think two of them, but yeah, man, I'm just having fun. I'm enjoying it, and might take a little break after he comes, and but I should be in most events. But yeah, I'm just having a good time, man. I love to compete. I love to fish, so kind of works out, you know.
Yeah, for sure. How about the national stuff? You got any aspirations for that, or you just want to be a local?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll do some more if they come a little bit closer. I can't. It's just a lot of time to dedicate if to go too far away. You know, like the Texas, it's just so far away from home. And honestly, I'm kind of a homebody, but you know, I did the bass event a few weeks ago, which was at Hartwell. So anything that comes somewhat close, I'll do. But yeah, I'm just kind of gonna hang around here. If there are any more bigger events, which I'm sure there are, they'll probably come closer. I'll definitely hop in them. But yeah, I mean, I just like to have my local fun. Go out there, try and cash a check. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm having fun with.
And what kayak are you using?
Right now, I'm in a new canoe, unlimited. I came out of a Frontier, which I loved. The only thing I didn't like about the Frontier was the drainage. But yeah, I'm in an unlimited now with the XI3. It's just super stable. That's another thing is, you know, kayak fishing. Me personally, I can't sit down. So I got to have a stable platform where, well, I can fish when I'm sitting down, but I don't prefer to. I really like a stable platform to where I can fish like I am on my bass boat. I can, lock in spot. Well, I can turn the motor on, lock in a heading direction, and run down the bank. If that bite's going, and I can just cover more water. But yeah, I'm in a new canoe XI3 running a ionic lithium battery. I love it.
Nice. Good deal. You got any sponsors or anything, or are you all solo?
Just not any sponsors right now. Maybe soon. I'm just letting it all take its course. I'm not rushing. Like I said, I'm having fun and I want to keep it fun. But yeah, if maybe soon.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of people don't realize, if you get on a pro team, and there's responsibilities with that. It's not just here's a big check, go fish, and you don't have to pay
Yeah.
for it. No, it's not a big check usually, and then it's they expect some things from you, so now you're working. So
I don't mind work. It's just I want to keep it fun. I don't want it to be work. I want to I'm just letting it take its course, man. I mean, it's fun right now. That's the way.
nice. And this is your first kid coming?
Say what?
This is your first kid?
No, I got another. Well, I got my baby girl. She's 4 years old. Sweet as can be. Wild as can be too. But yeah, this is my second.
Nice. So you'll have one of each.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're all excited.
Oh, I bet. Is she a fisherman?
A little bit. She's not quite ready for that yet. Well, we've gone a couple of times, and all she's done is throw the worms in the water. So it's not a top choice right now. But yeah, I mean, I've introduced it to her. She likes it, fine. If not, no big deal.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Good deal. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
And let's see if these guys have any questions. I don't know how many people are actually even watching right now. Let's see. If you guys got any questions, fire them off. Let's go. It's a work night, so Actually, for me, it's not a work night. It's I got to get to bed because I got to take off to Potomac tomorrow. So
There.
what's that?
Are you fishing the tournament?
Yeah.
Nice. That should be interesting.
Yeah, I never done a tidal fishery before, so it's going to be a first for me. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I've never done that either. I've heard it's pretty intense, covering water, I guess you could say, but well, with the current or whatnot.
Right. Austin wants to know what type of jig.
I make my own.
That's always a good answer. Now you can't get them.
I make my own natural colors. Nothing fancy. Your browns, your green pumpkins. I play around with it, but typically green pumpkin color scheme. Nothing special. Yeah.
Nice. Let's see. Anybody else? No? Everybody's quiet. Still butthurt from Saturday. I had a good time with that. Like, I can't wait to go back to Gaston.
Yeah, that's a cool lake, man. I like that lake. The grass is awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. I just immediately started catching fish.
Yeah.
What size jig Ryan wants to know?
I bounce between a 3/8, 5/16, and a 1/2 ounce, but my workhorse probably 1/2 ounce. Yeah.
Football or regular? We got Arky head.
Depends on if I'm skipping docks. If I'm skipping docks, Arky head, but typically football.
Gotcha.
Get better, and the biggest thing with the jig is bottom contact. So I feel like I can get better bottom contact with a football jig, and when it gets hung up and you rip it out, that's where you get the reaction strike. So depending on the time of year, but yeah, I mean, I play around with it. I don't, but yeah, workhorse 1/2 ounce football.
Nice. Good deal. All right, with that, I think I'll let you go, and we'll catch up at the next event. You going to be at Hickory?
Yeah, I'm heading up there. I'm gonna actually start practicing this weekend. I've never been to Hickory as much as I've fished. I fished all around it. I've fished Rodis, James, Norman. I've never been on Hickory, so I'm gonna go start practicing this weekend, probably for the next couple weeks.
Nice.
But yeah,
should be a nice payout.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good event.
Yeah, it should be really good. I know a lot of people are excited about it, so I'm hoping that we get a good turnout for sure.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, thank you, sir.
I appreciate you having me, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you coming on. I'm sure a lot of the guys appreciate getting a little bit of insight and hearing the story about it. So appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Have a good night.
You too, man. See you. All right, everyone. We can bounce out of here. Next event, May 20th, Hickory. Check us out on Fishing Chaos. You'll see the event. Sign up. It's a big, a little bit more of a buy-in entry fee than we usually do, but it's going to be all 100% payout. So it's going to be a really good payout. So the more people, the merrier. Everyone, it's an open, so you can invite anybody from anywhere, and we'll have a good time. We're going to have food. We're going to have possibly a media boat. I believe Cody from Foothills will be doing some judging, and we get the venue up there as well. So it's going to be a good time. If we get over 100, we'll open up the other 2 lakes as well. So until then, we'll talk to you guys later. And if you're going up to Potomac, tonight's the last night to sign up. I'll see you up there. All right. Take it easy.